Now let's look at the surface area of a rectangular prism. And again, just like in the last video, I've drawn the net of the solid just here. The actual solid would have looked like this. Imagine a very small tissue box perhaps. So when I draw it up like that, this distance here would have been 6 centimetres, the height is 2 centimetres, and the width is 4 centimetres. So we've got 3 different lengths that we need to measure, and we call them L, H, and W. Now, as you know, we can move a tissue box or a rectangular prism around, so it doesn't matter whether the length is the longest side or the height is the shortest side, so long as you're consistent throughout the question. Now, just like we did for the cube, we need to find the area of each of the faces. So let's start with this face up here. It's a rectangle, so to find the area of a rectangle, we can use our area for a rectangle formula, which is area equals length times width. Okay, but you'll notice in this question, there's actually a h here instead of the width. So I'm going to say that this area is equal to length times height, which in this case is equal to 6 times 2, which is 12 centimetres squared. Can you see another area in this picture which is also going to be 12 centimetres squared? It's this one here, isn't it? It's exactly the same size. So this one here is also 12 centimetres squared. Let's look at another rectangle. Let's look at this big one in the middle now. Can we work out the area of that rectangle? Well, it's going to be 6 centimetres. 6 centimetres, this length here, times by the width here, which is 4 centimetres. So it's going to be 24 centimetres squared. And to get that, we did the length times the width. This length here times by this width here. Can you see another rectangle that's going to be 24 centimetres squared? Hopefully you're thinking about this one. So that's also going to have an area of 24 centimetres squared. Finally, we've got these other 2 rectangles. We've got this one here and this one here. Got a bit more room on the left-hand side. This one's going to be the width times the height. So area equals W times H, which in this case is 4 times 2, or 8 centimetres squared. So this one will also be 8 centimetres squared. So we've got 6 areas that we need to add together for our total surface area. So the surface area is going to be, well, we've got the 2 yellow ones, so 2 times 12 centimetres squared, plus we've got the 2 green ones, so 2 times 24 centimetres squared, plus we've got the 2 blue ones, 2 lots of 8 centimetres squared. Pause the video, put that into your calculator. I'm going to do mine as well. Hopefully you've got 88 centimetres squared. So the surface area of that rectangular prism is 88 centimetres squared. Now, just like in the last question, these flaps are just there in case we want to cut it out and make it into an actual prism, and they're the bits that will glue down. So we ignore those little flappy bits on the end. Now, this is a really handy thing to know about the rectangular prism, is that you're always going to have these matching pairs of rectangles. So we can even use a formula for the surface area of a rectangular prism. We can say that the surface area is equal to 2 times the length times the height, plus 2 times the length times the width, plus 2 times the width times height. And we can narrow that down even further. So we can say the surface area of a rectangular prism is equal to 2LH plus 2LW plus 2WH. And that's the formula I'd like you to write into your books before you do the question. This diagram will probably be a handy thing to put in there as well. And let's label the sides: length, height, and width. So we remember what those letters stand for. There's our height. So those bits in blue highlighter should be in your books, and then have a go at the question on your OneNote page.